Bitcoin Super Halving. An event that very few know about. This event will change this year's crypto bull run and beyond. Bitcoin is for everyone. No person, company, or organization is in control of Bitcoin. It's a decentralized digital currency that's powered by a huge, distributed network of computers. As such, when you own Bitcoin, only you have access to your funds. You'll typically send, receive, and store it using a secure digital wallet app which you can download for free. It's really important to remember that, since no bank or other financial intermediary ever has access to your wallet app, you're in charge of keeping it secure. Welcome to our channel. You are watching Kryptonite, a channel where we give you information about investing in crypto. Please, like and subscribe if you are new here, to get everything you need to know about weekly updates on the cryptocurrencies markets. In today's video you will know about what is the Super Halving event. How is this Super Halving different? How this event will have an impact in the current 2021 crypto bull run. And, if you stick till the end, we might have a Bitcoin price prediction for you. Now without further ado, let's get started. The Super Halving explained. In the last 5 years, I've done the research and have talked about crypto halvings with my clients, in my Patreon. And thanks to those halvings, I've helped my subscribers on making life-changing gains. If you're not familiar with halvings, it's when a crypto's supply cuts in half at a pre-programmed point in time. Bitcoin halvings, for example, are pre-programmed to happen every 4 years. My subscribers, who positioned themselves before the 2016 Bitcoin halving, saw the chance to make gains as high as 14,619% and 26,977%. And those who got in before the 2020 halving, saw some of my picks soar as high as 2,950% and 5,121%. Even after Bitcoin's 2020 halving, 6 altcoins, coins other than Bitcoin, with similar halvings embedded in their codes. They're up an average of more than 1,000% since we added them to the Kryptonite portfolio in November 2020. If you didn't position yourself before those halvings, I have some bad news for you. It's too late to make gains that might change your life. But, the good news is, I've found a once-in-a-lifetime event happening in the crypto market that'll be bigger than all the other halvings combined. Let's call it the Super Halving event. If you watch the news, you haven't heard a word about this Super Halving. The mainstream financial media is clueless about it. That's because they do not have networking from crypto founders as I have. They don't have the phone numbers of dozens of the top crypto and blockchain venture capitalists on speed dial. They're not meeting with developers online. They're not getting pitched to join the boards of blockchain startups. They have no idea what's truly going on in this space. And they're missing a huge opportunity. And so were you if you didn't watch this video. The Super Halving is different. There can never be more than 21 million Bitcoin in existence. That issuance is strictly regulated by computer code. So, following the 4-year halving cycle, we know the last Bitcoin will be mined in 2140. When the first Bitcoin halving occurred in 2012, it reduced the amount of Bitcoin produced every day from 7,200 to 3,600. The second halving in 2016 dropped it from 3,600 to 1,800. And the most recent halving in 2020 cut it from 1,800 down to 900. That's where we are today. But this super halving I've discovered, and that I believe will go into effect in 2021 will be different. It's not tied to Bitcoin's code. And it's not going to reduce supply to 450 Bitcoin per day. I believe it'll knock the available new supply all the way down to zero. Let me be clear. The Super Halving is not a pre-programmed, one-day supply drop like we've seen in the past. It's unlike anything we've seen before. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin's code. Instead, it all has to do with Bitcoin miners. Miners are the people providing the computing power necessary to run the Bitcoin blockchain. They solve complex equations to verify transactions, and keep the network humming along. The incentive miners receive for devoting their time, and processing power to mine Bitcoin, is a daily Bitcoin reward for their efforts. With the Bitcoin code now issuing 900 new Bitcoin per day directly to miners, that's a chance to earn around $50 million worth of new Bitcoin every day. Not bad for a day's work. But there's one problem. Historically, Bitcoin miners haven't been able to hold the Bitcoin they mine. They've had no choice but to sell it to fund their operations. Think about it. Ever since Bitcoin's been around, it's been plagued with negative connotations to illicit activities such as money laundering, drug market, and pornography. That made it a taboo investment for the gatekeepers of traditional finance, such as Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, for example. So, Bitcoin miners haven't had access to traditional sources of capital. But, we've seen crypto adoption take off significantly over the past few years. And huge players like Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and MassMutual are taking notice. One after another, these big institutions are now coming into crypto. And that means now, for the first time, miners can raise money through the capital markets by issuing shares, equity, or bonds, debt. We're moving to a world where Bitcoin miners will no longer have to sell their Bitcoin to fund their operations. And that's going to change everything. This year, crypto companies have already raised 10 times more capital than all of last year. So miners don't have to sell all their Bitcoin anymore and keep it for themselves. It's a fundamental shift the mainstream press is missing. And you can see this trend play out in the article down below in the description. Over the past month, the net position change among all Bitcoin miners has firmly swung into an accumulation stage, the green bars shown on the image. They're holding hundreds of more coins daily instead of selling hundreds, as we saw earlier in the year. One recent example of this trend is a US-based mining company. It's a little-known company that's been mining Bitcoin for years. But, it had to sell its Bitcoin because nobody would give it funding. Recently, Fidelity and Morgan Stanley have invested $425 million into this project. Now that it's sitting on $425 million in cash, do you think it'll ever have to sell its Bitcoin again just to keep the processors running? The value of that cash isn't going to budge. If anything, it'll go down. But, the value of the mined Bitcoin will only continue to rise over time. You can now see which miners are more likely to hold, once they have this option. When I saw this, I realized we'd entered a new phase in the crypto market. The game will completely change going forward. Miners will start asking public markets for capital. And they're never going to sell their Bitcoin again. Let me emphasize, 2021 may be the last year anyone can ever buy a newly mined Bitcoin. Bitcoin price prediction. With all discussed previously on this video, I believe, and predict, Bitcoin will reach $500,000 during this 2021 bull run cycle. And when it does, we'll be able to trace it back to this super halving. Now, is the time to get exposure to Bitcoin miners. Now, what happens to Bitcoin's price when miners are accumulating? Companies are adding bucket loads of it to their treasuries. Payment companies are buying nearly 100% of newly minted coins. And, credit card companies are paying out $900 billion a year in Bitcoin rewards? Its price shoots through the roof. That's what happens. More importantly, what does that do to the price of the small plays attached to Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, in particular? My research says they could go up 50x or more. I've never published a word about these special recommendations before. I haven't mentioned them in any of my research services, video updates, or articles. This is the first, and only time, I'm making them available. Guys, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in front of you. Because when it's over, it'll be gone for good. So you need to position yourself before the super halving starts. That's how you profit from the explosive surge in price, fueled by reduced supply and increased demand. Plus, the recent pullback in the broader crypto market is giving us an excellent buying opportunity. If you want broad exposure to this trend, consider the Amplified Transformational Data Sharing ETF with the ticker BLOK, BLOK. It holds some of the largest Bitcoin miners, but also includes companies in the broader blockchain ecosystem. So it's not a pure play on miners. But if you want the chance to make 20 to 50x gains from the super halving, make sure you click the bell notification to get notified when we upload the video with those crypto plays. This is it for today. Comment down below, yes, if you would like me to share my Patreon, where I have all my best cryptocurrency picks and everything explained, on why I think those plays will be the best cryptos for the 2021 bull run. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to slap that like button. Thank you guys for watching. See you till next time.